There has been some discourse around a soon-to-be released game and a certain popular one. With it comes a reoccurring phrase that I've seen many times whenever it comes to one standout success dominating for an extended period of time. Will Wuthering Waves be the Genshin killer? After all, no king rules forever, my son. With that said, I believe there is only one game capable of being that so-called Genshin killer, and it sure as hell isn't Wuthering Waves. It is Tower of Fantasy. Okay, I'm kidding. But before I reveal the obvious answer, let me give some context for my take on this. World of Warcraft, the MMO RPG that ruled them all. For a long time, it was the reigning champion. Whenever a new game would hit the scene with the promise of pushing the genre forward, people dubbed it the WoW killer. Yet it never came to fruition. It wasn't until July 2021, 17 years after its initial release, when a competitor saw a sudden rise in popularity. Was Final Fantasy XIV the WoW killer? No, not really. In fact, it did owe a lot of its success at the time to World of Warcraft. This is not to undermine the hard work that went into the game to make this success possible. However, for a while leading up to this, WoW had been filling its bed with metaphorical shit. Eventually came to a head with a controversy leading to a bit of an exodus, acting as somewhat of a catalyst for 14's growth. Large WoW streamers moved over and its popularity soared, and because it was a decent game, it did retain some of the influx. What I'm outlining here is the one and only WoW killer was the game itself, and thus the only one capable of being the true Genshin killer is in fact Genshin Impact. The reality is there is no other game in its genre that is going to see the success it had back in September of 2020 because too many stars were aligned. There was a distinct lack of open world anime games. Breath of the Wild was incredibly successful and it lay out the blueprint for Genshin. It was a cross-platform game, but the key was mobile. Then we had a period of time where everybody was locked indoors with not much to do, many of which were strapped for cash, and along came a game that they could just download with no initial cost. A game that was all about exploring the rich, vibrant outdoors, something that many were unable to do at the time. For almost 4 years, Genshin has remained a monopoly. The only potential competitor was Tower of Fantasy, which came and went like a fart in the wind. And for the majority of that time, Hoyoverse has rested upon its laurels with a new controversy every anniversary, explicitly stating that they have no plan for endgame content as they do not believe their audience really cares about it. Yet now, suddenly, out of the blue, they've changed their mind. I have no doubt many people that play Genshin will go over and try Wuthering Waves, while others will stubbornly stay within their tribe and lambast it from afar. Yet from the outside, their game plan appears to be release new endgame content a couple of weeks after the release of their competitor to claw back some of the players that left, assuming the honeymoon period with the new girl has begun to fade. The reality is, Genshin isn't weak enough to be killed by Wuthering Waves. Instead, they're more likely to simply coexist. The two games are actually quite different when you consider their aesthetics. Genshin is a bright and vibrant fantasy setting, while Wuthering Waves is more desaturated while leaning into the realms of sci-fi. I question the mainstream appeal of its aesthetic and wonder if their goal is to appeal to a more hardcore niche instead. Either way, I believe the audience of these two games are more akin to a Venn diagram opposed to directly aligning. As a huge fan of Breath of the Wild, I patiently anticipated Genshin's release back then, yet I never looked too far into the details. Instead, I waited, hoping to be pleasantly surprised when I finally got to play it. I have very much been taking the same approach with Waves. I know enough about it to have a basic understanding of what it's going to be, but I have been purposely keeping myself in the dark with the hopes of being pleasantly surprised. I will take it for what it is, yet I hope it's a good game, because not only is that good for those who decide to stick with it, it's also good for those who already play Genshin Impact. Ultimately, competition will force the current king's feet to the fire, making them have to work harder to please the peasantry. All in all, it's a win-win, but I'm curious what you think. If you happen to come across this video and reach the end, let me know your take. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and share it with others. And if you want to do none of that, would you kindly bugger off?